Today we are discussing about necrosis. Introduction of necrosis. So guys, in this video we will discussing about introduction, definition, causes and characteristic and types of necrosis. So let us start. First of all guys, what is cell death? So cell death is a state of irreversible cell injury. Means guys, whenever in your cells irreversible cell injury is happening, means your cells is dead. Because guys, irreversible cell injury is a process of cell death. So it may occur in the living body as a local or focal changes, for example autolysis, necrosis and apoptosis. Means guys, cell death may occur in the form of autolysis, necrosis and apoptosis. These three cell death process is differ from each other. I told you in this video about necrosis only. So guys, cell death जो होता है वो irreversible cell injury के कारण होता है, और सेल डेथ किसी भी जब सेल की irreversible cell injury की वजह से होती है तो वो सेल डेथ ऑटोलाइसिस, नेक्रोसिस एंड एपोप्टोसिस के फॉर्म में हो सकती है गाइस. Definition of necrosis. Necrosis is defined as a localized area of death of tissue followed by degradation of tissue by hydrolytic enzymes which is liberated from the dead cell. So guys, necrosis is defined as a localized area. Localized area is a term used for a point, specific point. Means necrosis start from a specific point, not all in tissues guys. Okay, it begins in localized area, a specific point. For example, this figure have a lots of cells, but in this figure necrosis take place in only 4 cells. These specific points, 4 cells, is called localized area. It can be grown in all cells, but necrosis begins in localized area of death of tissue, followed by degradation of tissue by hydrolytic enzymes. Means necrosis is degraded by hydrolytic enzymes. Okay, what is hydrolytic enzymes? Hydrolytic enzymes is the enzymes which is secreted by lysosomes. Actually guys, lysosome contain 40 types of hydrolytic enzymes. It includes cellulose, protease and lipase also. So these hydrolytic enzymes are degraded the localized area of necrosis by liberation from the dead cell. Necrosis is invariably accompanied by inflammatory reaction. Means guys, whenever in the tissues necrosis occurs, means there is inflammatory reaction occurs also. Guys, I telling you in Hindi also. So guys, necrosis को हम define करते हैं कि necrosis एक localized area of death of tissue होता है, जो गाइज जिसका डिग्रेडेशन होता है, ब्रेकडाउन होता है हाइड्रोलाइटिक एंजाइम्स के द्वारा. हाइड्रोलाइटिक एंजाइम्स लाइजोसोम्स जो है सिक्रेट करता है गाइज. यहाँ लिखा है इट इज़ इनवेरेबली अकम्पनीड बाय इन्फ्लामेटरी रिएक्शन. जब भी कभी टिश्यूज़ में गाइज नेक्रोसिस होता है तो वहाँ इन्फ्लामेटरी रिएक्शंस भी प्रेजेंट होता है. काउजेज ऑफ नेक्रोसिस. So causes of necrosis is same as I tell you in my previous video about cell injury causes. So these causes are hypoxia, chemical and physical agents, microbial agents and immunological injury, etc. For more detail in causes, please watch my previous video about cell injury causes. Characteristic of necrosis. Guys, this slide is most important because this slide it differentiate the necrosis in all types of cell death. As you know guys, necrosis is a form of cell death, but not only necrosis is a form of cell death, there is autolysis, apoptosis is also a cell death form. So how you identify, how you differentiate that it is necrosis or apoptosis or autolysis? So in this slide we differentiate we identify that it is necrosis. So in the process of necrosis, there is two essential changes characterize irreversible cell injury in necrosis of all types. Means whenever necrosis is present, there is two essential changes is always present. So first of all, cell digestion by lytic enzymes. So guys, this lytic enzymes, it may be secreted by own cell or it may be secreted by other microorganism, for example bacteria and viruses. So these lytic enzymes, when act upon cell and digest the cell, there is cellular swelling take place. Means guys, it shows cytoplasmic vasodilation. Second essential changes is denaturation of proteins. So in this process, there is nuclear changes in the necrotic cells take place. These nuclear changes may include pycnosis, means condensation of nuclear chromatin. This pycnosis may be either go dissolution, which is known as karyolysis, or it may be undergo fragmentation into many granular clumps, which is known as karyoraxis. So these nuclear changes, it may be pycnosis, it may be karyolysis, it may be karyoraxis. गाइज आई टोल्ड यू इन हिंदी आल्सो. सो जैसा कि गाइज आप लोगों को पता है, नेक्रोसिस इज ए फॉर्म ऑफ सेल डेथ. लेकिन नेक्रोसिस सिर्फ सेल डेथ का फॉर्म नहीं है, ऑटोलिसिस एपोप्टोसिस भी सेल डेथ के फॉर्म है. सो क्वेश्चन ये है कि कैसे हम आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, कैसे हम डिफ्रेंशिएट करेंगे कि ये नेक्रोसिस है या एपोप्टोसिस है या ऑटोलिसिस है. सो गाइज इस स्लाइड में हमने उसी को दर्शाया है कि नेक्रोसिस जब भी होगा गाइज, तो दो एसेंशियल चेंजेस होंगे सेल्स में. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, सेल डाइजेशन बाय लाइटिक एंजाइम्स. जो भी अफेक्टेड सेल है उसका लाइटिक एंजाइम के द्वारा डाइजेशन होगा. ये लाइटिक एंजाइम्स उसके खुद के सेल के हो सकते हैं, हिज ओन सेल्स, और इट मे बी फ्रॉम अदर माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म. सेकेंड जो एसेंशियल चेंजेस होगा वो डीनेचुरेशन ऑफ प्रोटीन. प्रोटीन का डीनेचुरेशन हो जाएगा. इस प्रोसेस में क्या होगा गाइज, जो नेक्रोटिक सेल्स का न्यूक्लियस है वो चेंज हो जाएगा. So it may be changed into pycnosis, karyolysis or karyoraxis. Types of necrosis. So there are 5 types of necrosis. First, coagulative necrosis. Second, liquefaction or colliquative necrosis. Gaseous necrosis, fat necrosis and fibrinoid necrosis. These 5 types of necrosis we will be discussing in part 2 video in details.